Thank you.
Welcome.
Actually, you'd be surprised how much you can kind of get the gist of what's going on in Romanian with the slides there. So I kind of know what's been going on. But firstly, let me practice my Romanian on you. The one word that I know, salut. And so unfortunately that's all I know, but I promise the next time I come I will at least know 3 words and be able to say good evening and thank you or something like that. So anyway, very nice to be here with you this evening. My name's Red Barrington. Oh, there we go. I'm a digital marketer. I've got 15 years experience working in digital marketing, and I've worked with brands in the UK such as Vodafone, Sainsbury's, which is one of the largest UK supermarkets, and also Dell Computers. As Awana said, I am one of the course level managers at the Oxford College of Marketing, and I'm based out in Oxfordshire, so a little bit outside of London, so nice, in the nice countryside. And I'm here for a few days. I'm teaching tomorrow and Sunday for strategic marketing, part of the diploma with the CIM. But today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about chatbots and how chatbots might be perhaps transforming or going to transform customer service. So let's start right at the beginning. Anyone know what a chatbot might be? A few people have heard of a chatbot? So before chatbots, there were just bots, and bots are a piece of software that's designed to automate a specific task. Now actually a chatbot works on a similar premise. However, it delivers this task around a single function, so namely chat and conversation. And what's good about chatbots is that they use machine learning. So they will pick up conversational patterns and they're able to mimic conversations. So for an example, you could ask a chatbot what the latest releases are at the cinema, and that chatbot would not only be able to tell you, but it might also identify where you are and suggest to you what films are on at your particular cinema next to you, and it also might give you the times as well of that those particular films. So you could say that perhaps that chatbot is almost the grown-up version of the cinema automated telephone line. I don't know if you have those here, but when I was younger, the only way we found out what was on at the cinema was we phoned up and they had a recorded message going. So the chatbot is a slightly more sophisticated version of that. And we could also akin it slightly to digital assistants. Those of you I've seen have got iPhones, so you've got Siri. Siri is similar to a chatbot, but it's more of a digital assistant. So you ask Siri questions, whereas a chatbot is more like talking to a customer service representative in an organisation. So they've got a nice definition here: a computer program that simulates human conversational chat through artificial intelligence. So to give you an example perhaps of how chatbots might impact on our everyday, there we go, on everyday consumers, is comparing the current customer service experience perhaps to one with a chatbot. So, at the moment, as customers, we've probably got 3 choices in terms of how we communicate with an organisation. We can do it perhaps through virtual chat or web chat, that probably could include social media within there. We can phone them up, or we can go and find the answer somewhere on Google. So let's take a look at the current service interaction. So I need to find a question I have a question for an organisation. So first of all, I actually have to find the information of the company on the internet, which is no mean feat. Sometimes companies don't really want you to call them. So you have to go through not 1, not 2, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages of their website trying to find desperately their phone number. And when you get to call the number. And then you get presented with a series of options. Press 1 if you want to do this, press 2. And if you're even unfortunate, you have the semi-functional speech recognition where you have to tell the person at the end of the phone what you want to talk to them about today. Now, I don't know if anyone here's got a slightly thicker accent or something, but I have real problems with them. And I haven't got a big accent. And it never understands what I want to do, whether I'm trying it's too complicated, I'm not sure. So by step 3, I'm pretty exhausted already, and all I want to do is ask somebody a question. But no, wait, I actually do then have to wait on hold to speak to a specialist. So again, I could be on hold for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. By this point, I'm probably looking a little bit like the lady in the picture there. Then I get through and I start talking to the specialist at the end of the telephone, and I've suddenly realised in about 5 minutes into my question, they've got no idea who I am. So I then have to go through some steps to verify who I say I actually am. So I have to remember, you know, my blood type probably, and some other password that I made up 6 years ago and I still can't remember. Then I might have to reset that password because I can't remember. And then finally, I get to talk to them. Then I realise that actually I've pressed the wrong button right the way back at step 3, and then I have to be transferred through to a different specialist, and I have to go through all of my questions, etc., all over again. And I might finally get the answers to my question. So, as I said, I'm probably tearing my hair out by this point. So, let's look at the chatbot experience. So this is how it works. I'd open up Messenger. I'd find the business's handle. I'd type them my question, and I'd receive instant feedback pretty much. That could be in the form of text, it could be in the form of pictures, it could be in the form of hyperlinks, it could even be voice, it would answer my question immediately. So chatbots offer that standardised approach of contacting an organisation. And to give you an example, if I want to know the weather, let's say, for the next 3 days, I could go to a weather-based website, I could type in my location, I could then see what the weather was. Or I could go into Messenger, find, let's say, the weather channel in the Messenger app, and I could then type 3-day forecast, and it would recognise where I was and deliver me a 3-day forecast. So that's the difference in that experience. So the idea is that that chatbot is removing the need, perhaps, for separate apps. So a good example here is Uber. Not sure if Uber is here right now. It is, yes. We don't have it in the countryside where I live. No, we don't have horse and carts or anything like that. We do have taxis, just not Uber. But the idea is rather than opening up Uber and ordering a taxi, I could do it from one within a Messenger application. So I'd simply find Uber in the Messenger application, tell them what I wanted to do, and they'd reply to me. So that's an interesting application. But actually, if we think about it, chatbots have been around for quite a while. In 1966, computer scientist, he's from the MIT, Joseph Wassenbaum, he published Elisa. Now, this is quite interesting. It was meant to be like a psychotherapist. You were meant to type in information, and Elisa or Eliza, whatever you want to call her, would reply back. But actually, while it was the first chatbot, it essentially was dumb. It only had a certain number of responses. So actually, if you go, it's still online, so if you want to go and play with it, you can. And you'll notice that after a while, it will give you the same responses over and over again. So it doesn't actually understand what you're saying. Another chatbot was in 2000 with Smarter Child. So I'm not sure if any of you had the AOL AIM Messenger, used to use that, or MSN Messenger. Smarter Child was on there, so Smarter Child could answer your questions. But what's really happening with chatbots over time is that with advancing basically technology and artificial intelligence has meant that we have been able to produce chatbots that are much better at learning about human conversations, and therefore being able to mimic those conversations. But also, tools such as Facebook, Apple and Google, they're very keen for you to have your interactions with them and stay within their platform. And I think that's also has represented some of the growth within chatbots. But let's now look at some of these specific things. I mean, I don't know how widely read or how much you've read about chatbots, but Silicon Valley have really got their head in a spin about chatbots. It's something they're talking a lot about at the moment. And they're suddenly such a hot topic, and firstly it's because of a convergence of 3 key things. Firstly, a high mobile penetration. So there's around 200 billion smartphones worldwide, so globally. and around 60% of the people who have mobile devices access the internet on it. So that's one thing there. But secondly, the massive rise in messenger apps. I bet all of you here, actually I know from last time I was here, how high the penetration Facebook has. So I pretty much guarantee that all of you here have Facebook Messenger on your phones. Yeah?
No.
And probably have WhatsApp as well, maybe, yeah? So Facebook Messenger has over 900 million users globally. WhatsApp is around 1 billion. And Kik, I'm not sure if you guys have Kik here, it's another messenger application. It's often used by younger audiences actually. They've got around 275 million. And actually the use of messenger apps is expected to double in the next 12 months. So a massive opportunity here. But also the rapid advances in artificial intelligence as well has really and as I was suggesting, how it's much more sophisticated, being able to understand customer conversations and conversations generally, and being able to mimic those and then process those as well. I think one interesting thing is though that chatbots are also seen as a potential revenue generator by some organisations, and we're going to see about that later on in my presentation. But perhaps the other reason why chatbots is certainly such a hot topic is because of Facebook. Now, at Facebook's recent F8 conference, they launched bots for Messenger. And what essentially this meant was that businesses and developers could now access Facebook's API and build a bot within their Messenger platform. Not only that, but there are some interesting parts to that Facebook have also given organisations access to their own Wit.ai bot engine. Now this bot engine is some serious artificial intelligence tech. It's really clever. It enables organisations basically to access this particular bot engine, which will help with learning conversations. They can enable organisations to automatically chat with users and effectively turn natural language into data. So it means that organisations can effectively drive conversations in an automated way. Not only that, but they integrated with some key tools as well, so Shopify and Zendesk, some key tools and applications enabling that. They've also, which is even cooler, is they've made it so you can integrate you can take SMS conversations and put them into Messenger and therefore have a conversation with your customers. Take it from the SMS into the chatbot to enable further conversation and more detailed conversation. But perhaps the sort of reason why chatbots, as I said, and it's got Silicon Valley and such a spin, is because Facebook has such massive reach. So it's really taking chatbots to the masses. But beside that as well, the other messenger platform, Kik, also opened up and launched their online store. They launched with around 16 brands. So the Weather Channel, Sephora, there's some of the key brands that are now partnered with Kik with their chatbots on their particular messenger platform.
How does this partnership work? We start with Sephora.
Yep.
I'm not sure I understand how.
It's basically Facebook or Kik have a technology platform that they can access, so they can build their own bots, which enable then that conversation to happen through Messenger, that automated conversation utilising a chatbot.
Brand. So
yep.
For example,
yep.
Sephora is wants a chat.
Yep.
Facebook provides the technology.
I said they provide the platform, they provide the API, and they can then build it utilising that.
Can personalize it.
Yes, absolutely, the way they need to. What the clever bit that Facebook has done is add in an extra layer of technology in there so that bot becomes, over time, it learns the conversations to help improve that experience and that customer experience. I've got some examples here actually. Let me step back a little bit. We've got CNN here. So the CNN bot basically suggests top stories based on what it thinks you're interested in, or you can enter a keyword. So this someone that here has entered Norwich City, which is were a Premier League football club, and it brings up a story that you might be interested in, which is Liverpool beating Norwich City last season. This one here is a bot called Shaw. Now, It's a guide to restaurants, cafes and bars. Unfortunately, it's only in San Francisco and Copenhagen at the moment. Not quite sure why it was such, random places. But what's really clever is that it not only recommends different bars, and it also recommends different restaurants. It will actually tell you and recommend dishes on those particular from those particular restaurants as well. So it's quite cool. One of the big areas, which is going to be massive for chatbots, is commerce. So this is Operator, and I think this is quite cool actually. It's a shopping bot, and it will send you recommendations for things that it thinks you might like. But also, what's quite cool is that you can send an emoji, and it will send you some recommendations. So look, you could put in a lipstick, a watch, or a bikini. But this person here has put in some sunglasses. A little man in the sunglasses, so it says shopping for sunnies, and it makes some recommendations based upon that, which is, again, quite clever. But let's think about this in terms of, we've been talking about customer experience. Well, I think you have, judging by the slides anyway. You're talking about just customer experience this evening. So I'm thinking a bit about how chatbots could be used for customer service and improving that experience. Well, firstly, obviously, chatbots can be used as a additional customer service channel. So rather than having to phone up, because I think my example right at the beginning was, customers can simply open a messenger app and talk directly to a customer service representative. If you're thinking about the way that we are changing as consumers as well, more and more of us are less comfortable utilising the telephone. I mean, a lot of us here are marketers, so we like talking on the phone, and we generally, as marketers, we like to talk. But a lot of my friends and some of my colleagues outside of marketing circles, they're not comfortable with using the phone, and they love this idea of a chatbot. Younger people as well, so some of the Generation Zs that are coming through, they're much more comfortable with technology. They're not really people that want to talk on the phone. They want to get customer service via social media, and customer service via a bot would be great for them as well. What's also good is with chatbots and how it could be used for customer service is automating low-value tasks. So things like chatbots give the opportunity for organisations to respond to quite low-value tasks, so really easy to answer tasks. So is this in stock? Is my flight delayed? Perhaps, do you have this in a size 5 in your whatever store? Really simple, low-value tasks, meaning that actually the organisation can focus its customer service efforts on those that really add value. And also, chatbots could be used to gather information, so to go through that verification process, and perhaps will even answer those low-value tasks before escalating then to have interactions with a human representative. So actually, travel's another area which can be impacted by chatbots. So this is for KLM Airlines, KLM Dutch Airlines, and they're one of the first people to integrate with Facebook's Messenger. And customers opt in to receive messages, and what you can see here is how KLM are using chatbots as a way to check in, get your boarding card, let you know if perhaps when the gate is open, check-in's open, if there's any flight delays, any other queries that passenger might have. And I think KLM, they were very keen to also underline that it's not just chatbots that are there, managing messengers, they have a human team there as well working alongside them. So that's just an interesting application from a customer service perspective. But let's think about some of the key benefits then around chatbots. First of all, rapid customer service. So 24/7 customer service means, even if the call centre's closed, customer queries can be answered. It means much more satisfied customers. Not only that, faster customer service. Again, rather than me waiting on the phone 5, 10, 15 minutes just to get an answer to a very simple question, I can open up a chatbot perhaps instead. Organisations can also engage with customers in a place where they spend most of their time. We already looked at the fact that time in messengers is going to double over the next 12 months. So if customers are spending more time there, how can we integrate, how can we facilitate the experience they have with us through that particular platform? Especially if we're utilising Facebook, We no longer have to have that whole, oh, what's letter 2 of your password, what's letter 5 of your password, what's your mother's maiden name, your cat's name, your first pet's name, all the security questions. You can be validated through your account through Facebook. Even more if you were shopping through a chatbot, you don't even have to input your credit card details because it would all be stored securely. I think perhaps another benefit for chatbots is the consistency, is customer experience consistency. The tasks within a chatbot are automated, so it responds to a question in a mechanical way and it does it the same over and over again. So there's a reduction obviously in human error. Also, chatbots don't have bad days, or perhaps don't have favourites, or don't decide suddenly they need to head off somewhere and want to finish the conversation rather quickly. So perhaps we could say also that consistency as well of person and response that somebody gets, which again can help with customer experience and customer satisfaction. It's also extremely cost effective. So apparently the average cost to a call centre is around £3.70, which is around about €4.70, maybe up to €5, depending on what day it is and how the exchange rate is. So if you're thinking that's the cost every time it comes through to a call centre, then we can hopefully, by reducing the number of reducing the number of calls and trying to get some of our customers to go through other channels such as chatbots, it can help an organisation save money. And finally, unlike the telephone, chatbot can incorporate media. So it can provide images, it can provide URLs, it can provide details of services or features. It's very difficult when you're on the phone to a customer service representative and they're trying to give you a URL and it takes about 5 to 7 minutes for them to explain what it is, because there's forward slashes, there's dots, etc. and you always get those in the wrong place. So, chatbot makes that a little bit more efficient as well. So, within all of this, we need to have this discussion. Will chatbots mean the end of customer service representatives? Absolutely not. They need to work together. They need to work together, and they need to work complementary with each other, because they should support each other. What chatbots can do is they can initiate the customer service conversation, or they can also take away some of perhaps the lower value tasks that we discussed from customer service representatives. So actually, it can give customer service representatives, enable them to focus on having a much more fulfilling role, dealing with either challenging cases, perhaps calming customers down, for example, thinking about how they can add value to a customer experience rather than just asking, how do I reset my password? Something that can be done very easily by perhaps a computer and that automation of tasks. So far I've painted you quite a rosy picture, haven't I, of chatbots, how wonderful they are, but actually, what could possibly go wrong? Give you one word, Tay. Anyone hear about Tay?
Yes.
Yes? Well, that was good, wasn't it? So Tay was launched by Microsoft. She was essentially a Twitter chatbot that was designed to speak to you, learn about conversations, and then it was learning to speak like a millennial. Unfortunately, Tay learned to love Hitler and learned to hate feminism quite quickly. So it was all rather unfortunate. And it was really that the mischievous people on Twitter, so some of the trolls, set about making Tay learn about the wrong things and therefore misunderstand and not understand what racism was. So if you think about it, Tay is just a bot. Tay doesn't know what racism is. Tay doesn't even know what she's saying, because it's not a she, it's a machine, it's a piece of software. And similarly, it's not Microsoft's fault either. Actually, it's the fault of these awful trolls and mischievous people online. But it does show us the limitations of chatbots potentially, that we can teach them only so much, and while artificial intelligence and while tech is improving, there might still be this particular problem. Actually, you can still see some of the tweets, you can still see Tay's tweets if you want to have a look. They've removed the worst ones, but there's still some pretty horrific things up there, so it's well worth having a look, and it's quite interesting. but Microsoft have taken her now offline for updates. So I'm not sure what they're going to do next. But yeah, I think it's important for organisations to think about starting perhaps small with chatbots and then building up, because we could end up in a situation like this and therefore unsatisfied customers. So that was all I wanted to talk to you about today. It was just a brief overview around chatbots and customer experience and customer service. But if you have questions, I'm happy to take them, or I'm going to sit on the stage and you can ask me there.
Red, I guess there was the question. Thanks a lot.